Hello class. We held a course review, course summary, going over important concepts that we've covered in the class, and we had an exam preparation. So I am recording this video for you. I will transcribe it to YouTube. I will send you the link, and you can have the exam review and preparation so you'll be ready for your final exam. First of all, some important administrative things to consider. In your task analysis, we had talked about a GoReact voice dub over explaining your task analysis, but we have decided that's an extra layer and you do not have to do a GoReact audio. So I don't know if you heard about the GoReact, we talked about it, but you do not have to do that. Your task analysis is due to the D2L Dropbox midnight May 14th, that's reading day. Midnight May 14th, task analysis to the D2L Dropbox. I did send you a checklist of items that are required to complete the task analysis, your freeze frame pictures for the skill that you are breaking down, teaching cues, teaching bullets, body positions, an instructional video, some training aids, teaching aids, appropriate drills, and one article that summarizes your skill. So that's your task analysis. I will put all your grades into D2L, your D2L grade book. You will have a score out of 80 when you go into your final exam. I am going to add a couple of points to your test score for exam 2. There was a few ambiguous questions in there that we talked about, so I will make some corrections to your exam score. Our exam is in class time, Monday, May 17th at 10:45 to 12:45. You do need to log on during that time period. If you log on a little bit late, that's not a problem. But if you log on after the completion of the exam, that would be a problem. So please make a note that your exam is Monday, May 17th, 10:45 to 12:45, and that will be on a D2L online. So we do not have a formal meeting next week, so I will give you an email, and you can email me any questions that you have to cover things that you may not be understanding down the stretch. So your grade will be calculated. Exam 1 counts 20%, exam 2 counts 20%, your final exam, which you're taking during the exam period, will count 20%, your task analysis counts 40% for your total grade of out of 100. So I want to tell you a little bit about your exam format. There'll be 40 questions. They will be broken down into true, false, multiple choice, an A or B selection, which is a sentence completion, and from the readings, and I will talk about the 3 readings in a moment, I will give some scenarios. I will pull a sentence or 2 or maybe even a paragraph out of the readings, and that scenario you will be asked the question, a multiple choice question on the readings. I did send you some video links of master teaching, not so much for your final exam, but I do want you to know that these pioneer teachers, these famous instructors of sports skills, Harvey Penick for golf, Mo Norman for golf, Tom Amansky for baseball, Pistol Pete Maravich for basketball. So hopefully you had a chance to look at those video links, and you moving forward in your teaching career will learn how these master teachers help us break down and teach sports skills. I have posted some D2L study notes for you on augmented feedback, and they will be important for you to look at. So your final exam is made up of 2 chapters in your textbook, Chapter 11, which is detecting errors, and Chapter 12, which is correcting errors or feedback. And you have 3 articles which you need to read. I'm going to give you some sample things to pay attention to here in a minute. But I did send you 3 articles to read, and those, along with the 2 chapters in your textbook, will make up your final exam. Using Motor Learning Theory to Design More Effective Instruction by Rukavina and Foxworth. That is available. I copied it and scanned it, and that is on your D2L readings. Integrating motor learning concepts into physical education, Rukavina and GeneZone. That is also scanned and available on your D2L. And I did scan and attached it as an email, the Chen article, which is referred to 2 or 3 times in chapter 12 of your textbook. I wanted you to have the article. Trends in Augmented Feedback Research, Tips for the Practitioner. So those 3 articles, along with 2 chapters in your textbook, are pivotal reading and study material for your final exam. Now, for those who attended the lecture in person, I gave this information. I want to give you some sample areas of things I think you should look at from your textbook. If you have the 4th edition of the textbook on page 296, determining the cause of an error. Once the practitioner has determined the underlying cause of the error, diagnostic and prescriptive feedback should be given. That is true. On page 297, detecting errors due to the environment. If a basketball shot consistently misses the rim or falls short, you have detected that for the age group, it's not an age-appropriate ball size, age-appropriate basket height. If the error in the performance is a sort of a 2-hand push-up, set shot, low release, and you have determined that the error is due to the environment, you should lower the basket and make the ball smaller to correct that performance error. Answer is true. On page 318, modeling for young learners. You do need to provide an outstanding sample for observational for young learners. So it may be you, it may be a video, it may be an instructional video, it may be an expert from the class, but modeling for young learners is a very important feedback teaching strategy, and that is true. On page 321, drills and training aids. Drills and equipment can provide performance feedback. Absolutely true. We talked a lot about unstructured practice, backyard, playground, spending time with the object of the game, absolutely essential. But we also need structured drills and training methods, which only you as the instructor and the coach can provide. On page 321, on the bottom of that page, it talks about playing catch with a raw egg would be a form of intrinsic feedback. That is true, but I can't imagine any situations where we as a coach or we as a physical education teacher would actually play catch with a raw egg. I would substitute the raw egg with a water-filled balloon, but that would be great for a summer camp situation, not appropriate for a practice, not appropriate for a gymnasium activity. But the point is, would playing catch with a water-filled balloon provide feel and feedback? And the answer again would be true, because you have to give, you have to feel, you have to support the arriving object, and that would teach and provide some intrinsic feedback. Let me see here now, other things that we looked at. Oh yes, page 326 of the 4th edition of your textbook, the frailty of augmented feedback. The question is, can you give too much verbal feedback? And the answer is true. Augmented feedback comes from the coach, verbal feedback is provided, and too much information overload can cause paralysis by analysis. So even though augmented feedback from you, the instructor, from you, the coach, is pivotal to correcting errors, there is a theory that says too much information is information overload. So try to direct your comments, your feedback on the error that will give the most bang for the buck. Focus on the mountain, not the molehill, and direct your verbal feedback, your augmented feedback accordingly. And on page 327, this is a concept called bandwidth feedback. It's augmented feedback. It's the width of the feedback. We have talked about degrees of freedom, or that's that's a statistical term for amplification, or how many degrees of error are permitted in the skill and have the skill still executed. But in bandwidth feedback, you have to determine as the instructor if one repetition happens and the skill is executed, but maybe the tennis ball toss was off or the football punt drop was off, but the skill was still executed, then no feedback is required. But if the second repetition and the ball toss is off, the volleyball serve is off, the football punt drop is off, the performance of the skill was not executed, the skill is now beyond the bandwidth, and you would actually offer some prescriptive diagnostic feedback. So those are some things from Chapter 12 that we went over in the lecture. I wanted to draw your attention to those ideas, and those are the kind of things I think you should be looking for when you come time to study for your final exam. So again, important due dates coming up. May 14th, Friday, reading day, midnight, your task analysis will be due to the D2L Dropbox. Our exam will be Monday, May 17th at 10:45. You will log on to D2L. You will have 2-hour time frame to complete your final exam. I will post all your grades. So far you have completed 2 exams, 20 points each. I will make a correction for the exam number 2. I will grade your task analysis once they come in. You will have a score out of 80. 2 exams, 20 points each. Your task analysis, 40 points. So when you come in to sit down, log on for your final exam, you will have a score out of 80, and you will add those points to your final total for your grade in the class. So I hope this summary, this course summary, this exam preparation helps you get ready for the exam. As I said before, I will make my time available next week during class time for email, and you can email me any questions and things you may want me to go over. Thanks very much, and good luck down the stretch. Study hard for your exams and finish strong.